Good morning. So I'm out doing my walk in the park. We moved a lot closer to where there's all these things to do, and my voice probably sounds worse, but it doesn't matter. I literally just woke up and I wanted to go for a walk, so I just left. I barely drink water. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about, so right before I had left, I had checked my messages for my friends group chat and just to check up on them. I don't really go on social media every day, but I don't know, I just chose to today, probably because it's Mother's Day. But anyway, yeah, I had sent my mom a message and then checked on my friends, and they were talking about affording a place for them to all attend the wedding together. And it got me thinking. First off, I offered the money that God had blessed me with last weekend. I wanted to tithe 10% of it, and then I didn't really know what to do with the rest of it. I love to travel, so I was thinking that I could probably use that to go to Italy or Ireland this year. And at the same time, I wasn't attached to putting the money towards that, but I know for sure I want my friends at my wedding. So I told them, if y'all need it for the Airbnb, I'll go ahead and just give y'all the rest after I tithe some. And then as I was on this walk, I was thinking, I know that we're, stewards over our money, over all the tools and all the blessings that God blesses us with. And I was just thinking about how my abundance mindset, I guess, wants to handle certain situations these days. This whole time, every day, well, practically every day, I've been praying for everyone that's supposed to be there to attend without worry of finances, even myself. And it's just, limiting beliefs just come up. So you just gotta dispel them and pray to God about them and do something in alignment with your abundance mindset. So whereas before in the past I used to just, I guess, embody a limiting belief, my decisions would continue to be a reflection of the lack mindset that I had or something like that. And I was talking about this yesterday, saying, I think I was walking and thinking about the same thing actually, but I was saying that we can either live life and take on the abundance or the lack mindset and still get the same result. But at least, okay, if we got the limiting result, I guess, where we never escaped debt, we never became millionaires, we never, I guess, escaped any type of reality that matched a limiting belief, But if we had a lack mindset throughout the process of that whole life, and manifested that, then it would suck. It would suck in the process, and it would suck in the result, in the end. But if we had an abundance mindset in a lack situation and ended with a lack result, you still would at least enjoy the process. You know, you'd be making more decisions out of happiness and what you value most. Good morning. And you'd be fulfilled. And in the end, it would have all been worth it. It's not like we're going to take all of these things to the kingdom when we pass on. And you would love to leave some behind for maybe the family that you're leaving or the community. And I believe that with that abundance mindset, you possibly could. But with that lack mindset, if you're just feeding that and making decisions off of that and embodying that, I feel you're only going to manifest that and then still not enjoy the process. And I guess that's more so where my mind has shifted. I want to enjoy the process more than I want to enjoy the result. I'm not having any type of traditional wedding. Everything that we're doing, I've created this experience with my fiance. It's stuff that's things that are creative and things that we value. So whenever I explain what my wedding experience is going to be like, it's nothing like what anybody's expecting. And it's not that it's like grand in the sense of materialism or, which that's okay too. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that that's not what we wanted. I started, I guess feeding into that at first, and I was looking up things that would traditionally go with a wedding, and none of it aligned with me. I didn't feel right about any of it. So I started digging deep and prompting myself with questions and just seeing what type of experience, what energy I wanted to leave, what energy I wanted to feel and be in, what energy did I want my family and friends to feel. And in the end, it had nothing to do with what I was taught you would want to be a part of your wedding. So I just let go of that and was like, okay, well, we're recreating this whole thing. And I've already value it. I already love it. And I can't say that, like, I forgot where I was going with that, but I know it was tying into the lack mindset. I feel like if I would have been moving within lack mindset, I probably would have taken on what everybody else values and had a completely different wedding experience. And I don't think I would have enjoyed it. That's what it was. I want to enjoy the process. And if I had just been focused on the result, how everybody wants it to look and taught me that it should look, then I probably would have been putting money and effort and resources towards that instead of what would matter most to me on that day. My old roommates had a wedding last year. Yeah, last year. Yeah. And I attended it. And it was, a simple wedding, I believe. And on the day of my roommate, she had cried. And you would think it would be because, you know, she's feeling all this love. Someone just told me a couple weeks ago, no, last week, that this, like, having a wedding, something like a wedding, is the first and last time that you're gonna both have, you and your partner are both gonna have everybody that you love in the same room or in the same location. Like, besides your funeral, you're not necessarily gonna get everybody that you want to be there, you know? So it's like, you gotta, you want to enjoy it. But people will take that and just run with what we've seen and what we're taught a ceremony is supposed to look like. And it's, you can literally look it up right now and you can probably get a list of like all the essentials for a wedding. They've got all these, and I'm not knocking these, I'm not. So I guess I'm not even gonna talk about that, but I was gonna mention like how they've got like gifts for preparing you, like gift subscription boxes for preparing you for the wedding. And those are so cute. So I'm just gonna leave that at that. But it's like, people lose sight that you're supposed to enjoy it too, you and your partner. And my friend, she was crying because she was so stressed. And she told me, like, when I had met up with her, she told me, I was like, oh, are you like feeling all the love? And because her family has, like, was there and she hadn't seen them in months and all that. And she knew his family from when they were younger, but she hadn't seen them in like forever. And I'm thinking that she's just surrounded by everybody that she loves, so, and that loves her. So she's like feeling it, and she's like marrying her love. But she was like, no, I didn't think that weddings were for other people. It's not for the bride and the groom. And in my head, I was like, girl, what? And I kind of asked her for clarification, and she was like, this wedding process has been so stressful. And that's why she was crying right now. She was so overwhelmed. They had to like go from couple to couple and greet everybody. It was a very structured process, which I know they create beautiful moments. Everybody can get a picture with everyone, and they're gonna have things to remember about it. But if I had it my way, I would not have wished for her to feel like that on her wedding day. And for her to believe that her wedding day was not supposed to be about her and her husband. And that's, when I thought about what I wanted my wedding experience to be like, that's first thing that popped into my head, is that I don't want it to feel like that. I want it to feel like God's presence is with us. I want it to feel very loving and inviting, very pampering even. And I think I've cultivated a great experience. Like, with all the funds that we've put towards it, with all the values that we have. And I'm praying every day that that weekend is protected by God's presence and His peace, and that we all feel His love when we are there. And that, and also, even with how much I've made it like so simple and aligned to us, my fiance, it's like I joke with him and tell him that he's it's like his internal system is addicted to like the most stressful way of doing and viewing things. Because I figured everything out and I shared it with him, asked him for his inputs and all that. In my head, and in reality, basically, the wedding ceremony was planned out within like a couple days. And usually people take like months and years to figure all this out. But yeah, we basically had figured it all out. And then, like, one of these weekends, he was talking about everything that's stressing him out. And he mentioned the wedding, and I just listened to him. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, after he did his little rant, I'm like, what are you talking about? I literally made this the most simplest wedding that we could possibly have, that anyone really could possibly have. And you're viewing it as something that's stressful. We don't have, it's like he was already picturing what other people's weddings are like. And he started adding things that aren't even in our plan for it. I'm like, what do you, I'm trying to remember a specific example. Okay, I think he was talking about, and decorations and stuff. And we're literally having our wedding in the most beautiful decorated place that we could possibly have it. Outside with a whole natural view where we're gonna have, the moon is gonna be full that day and you're gonna be able to see it with the sun rising for the sunrise wedding. It's like, and it's on a beach. Like, what more decoration do you need? I know that people usually get like arches and stuff like that, but I don't want anything distracting me from such a beautiful scene. So we're gonna have like little decorations and we're gonna create art in the sand as part of our ceremony. So that to me is decoration enough. The view itself, and you see, but it's like I took that time to figure out what I wanted to focus on. Because at first I was thinking decorations too, and it's like, yeah, we can put our money towards that. Because the thing is that with my mindset, I'm gonna put my money where I value it most. And if I value that type of thing at my wedding, then I'm gonna pour money into it. But I don't. I'm like, I was looking through all the decorations and I'm like, yeah, I could do that, I could get that. But for some reason it just wouldn't stick. And then when I started coming up with creative ideas for what I wanted to do and experience, then I was like, yeah, I would definitely be putting my money towards that. It stuck, you know? Because it was actually in alignment with me and not in alignment with what I was being taught to want and need at a wedding. And I know I want my family and friends there. So it's like, of course, why wouldn't I? Especially when God blessed us like that. Like, I'm still not over that. That was crazy. Like, us winning that angel number amount at the casino after praying. I still don't even know how to explain it, but it was some good stuff. Y'all go check it out. But yeah, I just hope that y'all continue to create experiences that are truly in alignment with what you value, what you and your family values. And it's okay to want what everybody wants as well, because you could even get inspiration, or you could just truly just be aligned with what was created for the masses. So long as it's aligned with you, then you should be all good. But I think that part of the reason why my friend was crying on her wedding day was because she was creating the experience that you're taught to create. So she's running on that energy, building up that energy for this ceremony. Buying the decorations, setting up the venue, like with everybody in mind. Not to say that I haven't included everybody in my own plans. But I just wonder what type of energy was she working with when she was curating this. Because you gotta think, you start off with this seed of energy, or this little snowball of energy, but the more that you continue to let it grow, whatever you're fueling, that's what's gonna grow. So if I'm fueling what I value most, then all of that value, I believe, is truly gonna show in the experience that I'm gonna have and that everybody is gonna have at my wedding. And so far I've been fueling connection, creativity, manifesting dreams, faith in God, abundance, love, self-care, peace, passion, just all of those types of energies. And I'm confident that everybody's going to be able to feel that when they arrive and throughout the whole weekend. This is the type of experience that I want to create for my family and for myself. I want them to come, arrive whatever day, and the moment that they arrive, I want them to feel taken care of and pampered without the stress. I was telling someone the other day that success is different. It's not the same thing as stress. And people think that when you choose these stressful ways of achieving things, and then when you finally get that relief from the result of it being over, that, I don't know, it might make you feel more successful or something like that. But it's not the same thing. I promise you that you can have the same result and still enjoy the process without getting overwhelmed, without getting burnt out. And it doesn't even have to be longer. I think people confuse that. They think that if they're not in do mode, that they're not actually getting anything done. But it's not true. You can be more intentional with things and still get the same result that you would have gotten, maybe even better, because again, you funneled that energy and grew it into a positive experience during the process. And then it's like that snowball and that tree, it grew up until that moment. Whereas I can imagine what it used to be like when I was in that mode of just doing, and it felt like anxiety just never left. Stress is motivating. There can be a healthy amount of stress. Usually it's not. Usually we don't know what the cutoff is morning, and we just end up growing that. And at the peak, when it's over, when you're done, you still go into that experience. I'm thinking about like an exam and stuff. You're just constantly studying, preparing, and maybe even burning yourself out. And you're going into every test beforehand with anxiety. And you let go of what nourishes you to focus on preparation for that exam. And then even when you leave the exam, you don't even feel like confident that you just passed it. Now you just have to wait. And then when you finally do it, it's like when you find out that you passed or that you didn't, it's like you didn't enjoy the process. So you're just grateful that it's over, really. You might be proud of yourself, you know, but I don't think it's the most proud that you could have been, the happiest that you could have been, because you just spent all that other time in such an energy that wasn't uplifting or encouraging or confident. I don't know. I hope that helps y'all out. I hope that helps y'all to align with more positive energies in your life. And I pray that you create the experiences and hold those visions that truly would fulfill your dreams, and enjoy the process the most. I feel like even if you didn't actually get what you envisioned completely, you might even enjoy what you walk into on accident, you know? Throughout the process, things might change and you might realize that you don't even want what you thought you wanted. Yeah, because all my life I really thought I wanted this specific type of wedding experience, and it is nothing like what I've curated. So, yeah, I pray that y'all become more aligned with your inner worlds and fulfill all the dreams that you ever wanted for yourself. Because they're a blessing from God. Those dreams are a blessing from God. All right, y'all. Have a good one.